Hey, I want to do a little update on this AR-7 Henry rifle, just in case anybody goes by what I said, my video to purchase one. When I made the video, I'd had several hundred rounds in this gun, and I never had the first problem with it. And I'd got it out again and was shooting it, and I got to about 150 rounds, and I started getting failures to eject properly. The rounds would get hung on ejecting. Let's see what I was using. I was using regular old cheap Federal, these Federal hollow points. But rounds would kind of get hung like so, wouldn't eject in the whole way. They'd bounce back. But and it's doing it a couple every mag. You wouldn't make it through a whole mag full. It holds 8 rounds without it getting a failure to eject properly. And so I thought maybe it's getting a little dry. Took and squirted some COP in the bolt, and that didn't really help any. And I shot another, I put another 50 rounds through it, and it made about, about 200 or so. I'd shot it, and it was a failure every mag. And so I took it, went in that evening, I took it all the way apart and cleaned it, the whole works. Got it back out, shot it, I don't know. Seemed like it's going to do pretty good, and then I got about 50, I think I got about 50 rounds, and it started doing it again, off and on. And so I fooled with it. I finally wound up taking the extractor out and filing it a little bit. Not the extractor, the ejector. And that seemed to help. And now you can shoot it, I don't know, you can shoot it pretty good, and you get very few failures, but it's not 100%. But it's not a really high quality made anyway. But I know it's not my mags, because I've tried different mags. And one tip, when you get these mags, these right here that's got the spring that hold that round down right, work pretty good from what I've seen on the internet. The ones without them are the ones the guy gets the failures to feed. This one here has never had a failure to feed. And I've shot, I don't know, I shot, I shot a whole 500 rounds of the, what is that, Remington boxed ammo like this, the hollow points, and more before that, and started in on these couple hundred rounds of these Federals. Never to failure feed, so that might be from these mags working better than the old style. And one thing I don't know if I noted on the first video, this is not the newest one. I think this one here is about 10 years old. The newer ones, they changed a little bit, not much. I mean, you can take it apart a little better, all the way. But anyway, when you get those failure to feed, one thing I don't like about it, with this barrel being plastic, right here on the bolt face, the barrel face, it really beats the shit out of it. Every time, if it lands with an open casing, it just chops right into that plastic. I don't know if I didn't want to do this video yet because mine don't have a high definition, so y'all could actually see what I'm talking about. But that really ought to have a metal bolt face on it. Don't like that. It makes it light, but it's just, I don't know, just not good made. To take it, and mine being an old model, let's see, I'll tell you, I'm going to take it back off. Mine being an old model, I messed up on taking it apart. Mine, you're not supposed to be able to take it, all the bolt out without taking the receiver all the way apart. Just trying to show you here. I'm going to try this. I probably won't be able to help it, but this undoubtedly take a video, will take a while. Ain't no way around it. But on this older model, like I said, it's 10 years old. You have to take a screw out, take the side cover off, or you can't get the bolt out. Unknowingly, either I broke this one or it was broke when I got it used. But you take the mag out, you're supposed to fire it, take the mag out, take your tension off this here, and take your charging bolt out, and then that all come out. On this one though, this old model one, it wasn't supposed to come out that way. Maybe when I went and did like that, I broke it, I don't know. Anyway, the new ones, you see how that's, let's see, springs. Back in here is a plastic piece, two plastic prongs sticking out, and 2 springs rides in that bolt. The bolt guide, I guess you would say, the bolt guide. The newer ones have a slot cut in them, so they'll come past the hammer, and you can take this bolt all the way out without disassembling it. But this one right here, you have to. This old model one, you know, that's new. No, it doesn't matter if you're gonna get the new one. But I was going to try to show y'all on this one how you actually did that. And I wasn't going to do a complete disassembly on this because I don't, like I said, I don't have high definition. And I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing here. Let's see. See if I can do this real quick like, and it is, you know, hard. Well, it ain't kind of hard, but after you do it a few times, you get used to it. And you know, it gets easier and easier. But if you've never messed with taking guns apart, I would not recommend it. Okay, for whatever reason my camera died there. I hope it got all that. Let's see if I can show you what I did right here. Okay, on the old models, to take it apart, you gotta take this screw out. You probably can't see when I'm doing good here, and I'm bumbling because I'm trying to look at the back of my camera and see if y'all can see if I'm staying on the screen. But you take that screw out and take this apart and prise up on it. And I like to kind of hold this pin so stuff don't fly. And it did. But you know what I didn't do? Didn't pull the trigger on it, so it left tension on the hammer. That's exactly what it did. Now if y'all want to see all this, pull the trigger, take the tension off the hammer, and you won't have happen what I just did. But anyways, I made some videos on real good detail, because you're probably not going to be able to see what I'm doing. But mine I was talking about, mine don't come apart unless you got to take it apart and take your ejector out of the way. This is your ejector. Right here. I took and filed mine at an angle so it kicked the cases out, but it seemed to help. I don't know. But mine, this thing here is supposed to not go, keeps your bolt from coming out on these old ones. The new ones have a slot cut through the bolt, and back in there on your bolt guide has a slot cut in it, so it'll come out. But these old ones, you got to take it apart like this to do a detailed cleaning, and it's really a pain in the ass, to be blunt. But mine was kind of broke, chipped right here. You can see that or not. But my magazines, when a magazine is in, keeps that thing from moving forward, so really don't have no effect, really don't hurt nothing. So, you know, as far as my failures to eject right, I thought maybe that's what it was, but that ain't what it is, because when the magazine's in, that won't move. I'm going to get this thing back together and do this without having to cut the camera. I don't know if it's worth it because y'all can't see the detail. But let's see right here. The hammer. I mean the trigger. I don't even know if I'm staying in camera. Let's see, the pin. It's total pain. Let's see. I like the hook, the spring up here at the top. Probably eating up a lot of time by doing this on camera. Takes forever to download. And then you got this pin. Put it in there. That spring back down. It sits on one side. There's notches in that. It keeps the spring from walking around. That one on that side. This pin right here. Where you lined up at? Watch me struggle. It is a pain. It's a pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to do it on camera. Stupid safety. Alright, pushing pins in. I hope y'all seen all that. I'm probably wasting my time here. My extractor's in. Mag release. That's in there. Turn it the right way. The little spring right here gives it tension. Probably can't see with my hands all in the way and no high definition. Hopefully you get the idea though. There's, like I said, there's some guys that did some videos on this with good cameras, and you can see exactly what they're doing. This plate comes on. That pin right there sticks through this hole. That trigger pin sticks in that hole. Some fellers, mine walks too much. My pin, to put it on that and then push it down in the trigger one. I guess that would be the hammer pin. But I started in the trigger pin, and I take something and try to line the hammer pin up with that hole and push it together. Hold on to it till you get your screw in there, let me tell you. But like I said, even doing this, especially on a newer one, the newer ones you don't have to do this. They made it so the bolt will come out. But it's not impossible, and you will learn how to do it once you do it a few times. And if you get it took apart, like I said, there's some guys with some high def videos. All you gotta do is go and look at how they did theirs, and you can get yours back together. But you know, it won't be an issue if you buy the new ones. There it is. If I had a good high def, I'd show you the whole works. But okay, let's get that bullet one out of the way. I was just wanting to show off, like I said, if you get new mags, get the one with that spring that holds the round lined up properly. That seemed to be the problem. The guys that had the failures of feed, they had the old mags without that, and it lets the round jump up too much. Okay. And another note, but I think I said on when I made my first video, is about mounting a scope on these. Let me back the camera back up so you see. Better. Mounting a scope on these. The old model ones didn't have a place to mount a scope, and I guess that's what popped in my head when I said that this one didn't, but this one does. It's got your 3/8 rail run down it right there. You can get scope rings and mount a scope if you wanted to. Oh, barrel, where's that? Sorry, I hit the legs. Get back together. Alright, let's get that. I'm gonna put this one with a bullet in out of the way. You don't need to keep your guys that play with videos and loaded guns, whatever, but you get sidetracked on what you're doing. Like I said, new ones, You don't have to do that, take them apart, and you really accomplish nothing doing it if you don't have to. As a pain, I like to tinker with my gun, so I learned how to do it. And the scope rails, the very first old ones, it's gonna be long. First old ones was round, and they might mount a plate. And I noticed you can still, if you look on eBay and the gun sites, you can still order some. But what it was a plate that bolted on the side through the screw right here and looped across the top. You could mount a scope on. This one came with a scope mount, and a new one. What I thought, I seen that new one. They took this right here and they cut grooves and all, and I thought it was a Picatinny rail or a Weaver rail, but it's not. It's just a 3/8 rail that they cut notches in it for looks. It's not. I don't think the notches actually accomplish anything, but you can mount a scope on this, and you can mount a scope on a new one, and you can get a 3/8 rail adapters if you actually see a Picatinny rail is like 3/4 of an inch wide, whereas these are 3/8 wide, and the new one's 3/8 wide. They make an adapter to clamp on here. You can use, if you wanted to use that, switch to a Picatinny, and we can take stuff on and off real easy. See if I make sure I got everything here. But for survival, reliability wise, I think this gun is it's cool. It's got history. It's fun to play with. There's more reliable. Marlin 60s. We're still recording. Ruger 1022s. All are probably going to work better than this rifle, but it's not what this rifle's intention. It would be lightweight and survival. And it's definitely light, 2.5 pounds. But like I said, it's not going to be. Well, my experience is this one's not 100% reliable, and the guys I read about on the net, most of them are not. If you keep it really clean, run high-powered mags, some ammo. I'm going to buy the cheap bolt boxes because that's what I use it for, to play with. I don't care if it does jam once in 50 rounds, or as long as it runs most of the time. It's just a good gun to tinker with, target shoot. It's got history. Yeah. I probably will make a whole nother video on my thoughts on carrying this as versus 22. I mean, not 22, but first carrying a pistol in a real survival situation, or something I was going to keep behind my seat in case something happened. I honestly would go with a pistol. You take if nothing else, but like a 357 revolver. You'd just be better off. But I wouldn't recommend this to. It's actually. If you was out really trekking with it, the barrel is plastic with a thin. If you fell down, you would warp the barrel or bend the barrel, and it would be useless. This receiver is made out of just an old cast aluminum. It wouldn't take a whole lot to break it. And a 22, 22 does not have a lot of power, but I guess this is long enough. I was trying to get in just a quick notes. If I want to talk about pistols and rifles, I guess I would make a whole other video. But the main thing was, one thing is, if you get one of these and you're gonna collect it, play with it and stuff, if I keep this one here, I'll probably order me with and you can tie up money just into stuff like this. But you can buy steel barrels for them. They're better. You can buy extra mags. You can buy different stocks. It's just a cool little gun. But for true survival rifle, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. But for me, for what I got it for, it's fine. But I just wanted to go over the main things in case somebody got an older one and thought they would take it down out the front. No, I was doing mine wrong and actually messed it up a little bit. Live and learn, right? The bolt face, if you're getting a lot of jams, you need to be doing something. You need to be cleaning or something, because it's going to beat your barrel up. If you order new mags, Like I said, get the ones with the spring. They work better. I do enjoy the rifle. I wouldn't count on it though, but if I left anything out this time, I'll make a note on my video. But in case this was just in case anybody went by, while I was playing with person or something. And also the new one I think comes with this one came with two. I don't know if it comes with two, but you can fit two spares in the buttstock. This one you can only fit one in the buttstock. Okay. Well, if you sit through all this and listened, appreciate it.